Better get on your job. Tell them haters get on your job. Motivation. Get on your job. Tell them haters get on your job. Hey, motivation. Haters better get on your job. Tell them haters get on your job. Motivation. Sucker, get on your job. If you hatin', get on your job. You can look me in my eyes, see I'm ready for whatever. Anything don't kill me, make me better. I ain't dead, you can take the fame in each other, in the game, in the
Top of the morning, folks. It is Monday. What is your motivation on this Monday? What's your motivation? What got you out of the bed? What drives you? This is not going to be one of those, oh man, it's going to be one of those weeks, oh man, it's Monday, it's about to be a long week. Nah, it's going to be a great week. That's the motivational mix, and that's why I got that TI plan. You got to have that mindset. You know, you set the foundation of the whole day, of the whole week with the mindset that you wake up with. What's your grind? What motivates you? What pushes you? Yeah, think about that. All right, well, this is the Breakdown, X's and O's with Nate Ness. I'm your host, Nate Ness, and man, I just want to recap over an amazing weekend. We got football. Football is back, and I'm gonna say that again. Football is back. We had an amazing, a tearful, amazing, just humbling weekend. The Hall of Fame game, and just again, football's back. But the most important thing is I want to say congratulations to all of the 2022 NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame inductees. Now, one thing I can appreciate about the Hall of Fame is the speeches. You know, the speeches. I mean, they're very heartfelt, they're very emotional, and it's a very humbling moment. It's a time where, you know what, the world recognizes, you know what, all the achievements that you've achieved on the field, all of the greatness, all of the hard work that you put out there. You know, how you honored the game and honored your team, honored your family. You know, it's due, it's earned, and I love it. But the common theme for all NFL Hall of Fame speeches is, you know, yes, the men are up there, you know what, thanking the coaches and thanking, you know what, you know, again, for the opportunity, acknowledging what they've done on the field. But one thing I can like really appreciate, and this is a common theme, you know what, men out there talking about their faith, how their faith actually really pushed them to really be where they're at, and just how God has blessed them. But also talking about the people that's in the background that help them and push them even more, that may not get the press conferences, that may not get the news articles and whatnot. Talking about the wives and the families, the wives that hold the fort down at home so that you can go out there and just, again, concentrate on just playing the game and just really doing your job. Talking about the parents that have sacrificed and brought you up in the right way and push you to be the best that you can be. Talking about parents that, again, speaking on my parents, that believe in you more than you believe in yourself. I mean, it's inspiring. It's inspiring. And talking about the people that helped you along the way, coaches that have helped you go that way instead of going that way. We all have, like, you know, people that have helped us in this thing called life, in this journey called life. And that's what it's all about. Now, I love how all of these men speak about, again, just putting the light on those that have helped them on the journey that you don't get to hear about, that you don't see, that you don't talk about on a regular. And one thing I respect is Coach Dick Vermeil. You know, a great man, great coach. I got a chance to meet Coach Dick Vermeil in 2010, 2011 at the NFL Coaches Academy. And just hearing him speak, he's a very emotional guy because he cares about those around him. He was a man that literally cared more about the success of his players, not just on the field, but outside of life, outside of the football field and in regular everyday lives, as men, as fathers, as husbands, as pillars of the community. He cared more about that part. And just to hear him speak, you know, we're talking about Coach Dick Vermeil that took Kurt Warner out of a grocery store and turned him into, like, you know, that St. Louis Rams team into the greatest show on turf. A man that was so humble in heart and literally will push his players to be the best that they can be. just hearing him speak and how he thanked all those men that really helped him in his coaching career. The players, the coaches that are around him, the sacrificing of the time with your family and whatnot. That's what it's all about. You know what? It's not, at that moment, it's about you, but to take the light off of you and just to shine it on so many other people, that's what it's about. Because again, it takes a village. Again, you need people that's going to hold you accountable, but you also need people that's going to push you on the days that you don't want to do it. The days that you just want to say, bump it, man, I'm tired. But you got those people that depending on you, that want to see you succeed. And that's what the thing was with Coach Vermeil. He wanted to see his players succeed in all areas of their lives. And I love it. So hearing him speak, it really touched me. It really had my eyes a little watery, because again, he's speaking from the heart. He's speaking from the heart, and just again, having the opportunity to converse with him, to meet him, he was very authentic. Excuse me. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's get to the game. Now, Hall of Fame game between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, it's not a game where you expect to see the big names play as much. So let's go ahead and let's dissect the game. Let's start with the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are coming off a rough year. And their coach, Urban Meyer, didn't even make it through the season before he was relieved of his duties. So, Trevor Lawrence, who was last year's #1 overall draft pick, he had a tough year. Now, but it's expected. Rookie year, transitioning from the college game to the NFL game is very, very different. I mean, these defenses, you got to be able to study film and you got to be able to read. And that's what is complicated. It's not like, again, you got to make checks. You got to be 2 steps ahead of the defensive coordinator. You got to be able to see the play happening beforehand. You got to be able to make those checks. If they're playing it too high and disguising it very, very well, and you know that there's going to be single high safety, and that safety is dropping down, and he's going to come down in the box. You have to make those checks. If you got to slide the protection, to make it a 50 protection, you got to be ahead of the game, and he's going to get there. But again, he had a rough year. But he didn't also have the solid foundation and pieces around him. But this year, you're expecting more, especially in this year 2 jump. Now, the Jaguars have hired Doug Peterson, and he's back on the sidelines after taking a year off. Now, this is the same Doug Peterson that led this Eagles team to an upset win over the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. Now, he's proven that he can win, but he's also proven at really coaching up the quarterback position and his offensive background. And if we want to, you can just take a look at Carson Wentz. He was a front runner for the MVP award in 2017. If he not before he got hurt against the LA Rams. And that was his second year. So you want to expect, if you're a Jacksonville Jaguars fan, just off of what Doug Peterson's resume presents, you are excited for what he can do with Trevor Lawrence, because Trevor Lawrence have all the intangibles needed and necessary for him to be a great quarterback. And on top of that, Jacksonville has made many offseason acquisitions and just they made a priority to put pieces around Trevor Lawrence and to make this team better. Now, this past April, the Jags had the top overall pick again, and they selected Trayvon Walker out of the University of Georgia. And not to get ahead of myself, it's only 1 game, but from what I'm seeing, just watching the film on him, the plays that he was in there, seen some great athletic ability. You've seen what made him the #1 overall pick at Georgia. Coming off the edge, great get off. He has hustle and pursuit, and he has the body and the physical tools that can make him a star, all pro in this league. But again, this is just 1 game. He's very physical. 1 preseason game. But again, I was impressed, and I'm very excited to see what he does during the season, and how the season progresses. Now, the Jags, they didn't have a pretty game, yet it's preseason, and it's expected. Seeing that it was mainly rookies and guys who are that are fighting for roster spots playing, and again, you didn't expect to see a clean game. You don't even game plan for this game. You just go out there. It's training camp. You just go out there, hey, we're going to run these plays and whatnot, and we're going to run them against another team. Now, Jake Luton, he got the start in the game, and he couldn't get things going in the first half. It was very, very sloppy and inconsistent play, and they couldn't sustain any drives in the first half, going 2 for 6 on 3rd down, finishing the game 3 for 12 on 3rd down, and that's not winning football. Luton finished the game 10 for 17 for 94 yards. Now, Kyle Slaughter came in. He was a third-year pro out of Northern Colorado. He came in the second half, and although he wasn't lights out, he was able to lead the Jags on 2 scoring opportunities, 2 scoring drives, finishing the game 13 for 25, 127 yards, and 1 throwing touchdown. Now, one of the areas that the Jags are looking so desperately to improve is in the running game. Now, that can help big time with your quarterback, controlling the clock, opening up that play action, and whatnot. And as a team, they only rushed for 59 yards, with Mekhi Sargent leading the way with 5 carries for 22 yards. Now, they're going to, again, this is the preseason. You're looking for guys to get better each week, and who you know that can come in and just really help the team. The preseason, that's what these games are for, and training camp is for. It's for you to see what guys are going to be able to be counted on to produce for the team, to help the team in all areas of the team. Now, Luke Farrell, he led the team in receiving with 3 receptions for 43 yards. And Nathan Cottrell, he chipped in 4 receptions for 35 yards and 1 touchdown. But, again, the Jags had a really sloppy game. On the defensive side, Arden Key was really the only bright spot, as he recorded 2 sacks against the Raiders. Now, let's go ahead and look at the Raiders on the other side of the ball. Las Vegas. Like the Jags, they have a new head coach in Josh McDaniels. Now, Coach McDaniels, this is his second stint as a head coach. He was the head coach for the Broncos years ago. And he looks to fare different than any of the other coaches that came from the Bill Belichick coaching tree. And hopefully he can last and do some things that's great. Now, this team right here, this Raiders team, I mean, how can I divvy it up? They have a good quarterback in Derek Carr, And what we've seen, what McDaniels has done in New England with Tom Brady, and last year with rookie Mac Jones as a rookie, led the Patriots to the playoffs. We know that Josh McDaniels has a niche for quarterback play, and he's hands-on with his quarterbacks. I see him and Derek Carr. I see that could be a great pairing. Now, the Raiders, as a team, they made a big splash in free agency, acquiring Devontae Adams from the Green Bay Packers, arguably the best receiver in the game right now. Reuniting him with his college quarterback. And what this trade and other signings that the Raiders did is that this team, what it signifies is that this team is ready to win, and ready to win now, especially in that competitive AFC West with Kansas City, San Diego, and Denver. So you've got to be able to keep up. So they want to win and win now. They have all the pieces in place. They have the quarterback, they have the offensive weapons, they have a decent defense. Now they have the coach. Now they want to get over the hump. Jarrett Stidham, he actually got the start in the game. And to be honest, he fared very well. He's coming from that New England offense. So you look to him to be a solid number 2 to back up Derek Carr. And he led the Raiders on 4 scoring drives in the first half. And he finished the night 8-15 for 96 yards. And he had 1 rushing touchdown for 12 yards. And the Raiders, they also had a nice showing in the rushing department, rushing for 107 yards and 3 touchdowns as a team. That's great. Again, one of the most important components that you want to be able to do is you want to be able to run the ball, especially if you can run the ball in the month of November going into the playoffs. Because what that does is that controls the clock. That sustains drives. Those 10-play, 9.5-minute drives where you're gassing the defense with a great mixture of running pass, you want to be able to have that. And the Raiders, great running job, great running game. Again, they produce. Leading the way was Austin Walter. He was leading the way with 8 carries for 49 yards and 1 touchdown. Josh Jacobs had 30 yards on 5 carries, and my old teammate Amir Abdullah, he also scored a rushing touchdown. Great production from the stable of running backs for the Raiders. Tyron Johnson, he led the Raiders in receiving with 39 yards on 2 receptions. And it was a really, really great game. I mean, sloppy at the beginning, but as a fan, you're just happy that football is being back. It was a great game. The Raiders take this one 27-11. Overall, just a weekend in itself. Outside of football and the enshrinement, it was just a great weekend. It's a humbling weekend. To honor the men that have really went out there and just laid it out there on the line, did the job with integrity. That were role models to men like me, young guys like me coming up, playing the game, who did it the right way with the integrity and accountability. I am just really, really thankful. Congratulations again to the newest members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And I'm glad football is back. So, until we meet again, everybody, you guys have a great week. This is going to be a beautiful and blessed week for you. Don't allow anything to get in the way. Don't allow no negativity to get in your brain or in your mind. Continue to pour into the glass because the glass is not half empty, the glass is half full, and you're pouring into it each day. So go be great. Thank you guys for your continued support and encouragement. This is The Breakdown, X's and O's with Nate Ness. Let's go get it, y'all. Have a beautiful and blessed day.